Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. Let me introduce my group. We are from group 2 with the topic Teaching Pronunciation by Using the Direct Method. Okay, our group consists of 3 people, namely I'm Estri Mustaqimah as the first speaker and Istiqomah as the second speaker and finally Erny Karina as the last speaker. To streamline our time, as the presenter, I will first explain about pronunciation. There are 3 levels of English pronunciation. First level, people often don't understand what you want to say. You use the wrong sounds in English words. Second level, people understand what you want to say, but it is unpleasant to listen to you. The third level, people understand you and your English is pleasant to listen to. When a person learns English as second language, they are speaking English filtered through their first language. They are using their native language speech rules of pronunciation and accent grammar. On their new language, they are not aware of the American speech rules. There are many schools and places which teach English all around the world. However, few of them address the speech rules. This is because many of the teachers who are providing English training do not know of these speech rules. Anybody with the desire to reduce their accent can reduce their accent. Change begins with the desire to change. When we combine our desire with proper instruction and practice, we achieve success. The key to learning to speak English clearly and correctly is training and practice. Clear and accurate speech comes from doing. Reducing your accent is different than other skills such as grammar and vocabulary. Studying accent reduction is more like studying dance, music, sport, or martial arts. It involves the training of muscle groups. Everybody is born with this muscle group located in our tongue, lips, and jaw. All that you need is the desire to change, proper instruction, and most of all practice and training. Accent reduction is about doing. Simply observing or knowing how to is not enough. Awareness and knowledge is important, but you have to try it in order to be able to actually do it. We often hear people say, I want to reduce my accent, I want to have a British accent, but what exactly is an accent? An accent is way of speaking, a process by which a speaker substitutes a sound from their native language for a sound from English. This transference occurs mainly for 2 reasons. The first reason is that the speaker is not aware that a specific sound exists in English. Hence, they use the closest sound from their native language instead. For example, many students are unaware of the sound I, as in the word cheap or big. As a result, when saying the word cheap, they substitute a similar sound which exists in their native language. Usually, they choose I as in the word he or meet. Phonetics, study of speech sounds. Phonetic is the science of speech sound, which aims to provide the set of features or properties that can be used to describe and distinguish all the sounds used in human language. There is English sounds. There is consonant sounds and vowels. Consonant sound, that is, the sounds in the production of which there is an obstruction of the airstream at some point of the vocal tract. And then vowels, that is, the sound in the production of which no articulators come very close together and the airstream passes through the vocal tract without obstruction. And then the last consonants. Consonants are produced when the air stream is abstracted in the vocal tract. Consonant sound can be characterized according to three main phonetic properties. First, place of articulation, which refers to where in the mouth the sound is produced. And second, manner of articulation, which refers to the way the air is abstracted in the mouth while producing the sound. Then voicing, which refers to whether or not there is a vibration of the vocal cords as the sound is produced. I think enough from me. The next material will be presented by Istiqomah. Thank you.
Okay, I will continue the material from Estri. The material is the principle of the dialogue method. The principle of the grammar translation method are organized by answering the 10 questions posed in chapter 1. Not all the questions are addressed by the grammar translation method. We will list all the questions, however, so that a comparison among the methods we study will be easier for you to make. Number 1 is, what are the goals? Teacher who use the grammar translation method? According to the teacher who use the grammar translation method, a fundamental purpose of learning a language is to be able to read literature written in the target language. Number 2 is, what is the role of the teacher? What is role of the students? The rules are very traditional. The teacher is the authority in the classroom. The student do as she says to, so they can learn what she knows. And number 3, what are some characteristics of the teaching or learning process? Students are taught to translate from one language into another. Often, what they translate are readings in the target language about some aspect of the culture of the target language community. Students study grammar deductively, that is, they are asked to apply the rules to other examples. They also learn grammatically paradigms such as verb conjunctions. The memorize native language equivalents for target language vocabulary words. And number 4, what is the nature of student-teacher interaction? What is the nature of student-students interaction? Most of the interaction in the classroom is from the teacher to the students. There is little student interaction and little student-students interaction. Okay, number 5 is, how are the feelings of the students dealt with? There are no principles of the method which relate to this area. And number 6, how is the language viewed? How is the culture viewed? Literacy language is considered superior to spoken English. It is therefore the language the students study. Culture is viewed as consisting of literature and the fine arts. And number 7, what are the language are embraced? What language skills are embraced? Vocabulary and grammar are embraced. Reading and writing are the primary skills that the students work on. There is much less attention given to speaking and listening. Pronunciation receives little, if any, attention. Okay, next, number 8. What is the role of the student's native language? The meaning of target language is made clear by translating it into the student's native language. The language that is used in class is mostly students' native language. And number 9, how is evaluation accomplished? Writing tests in which students are asked to translate from their native language into the target language or vice versa are often used. Questions about the target culture or questions that ask students to apply grammar rules are also common. And the last, number 10, how does the teacher respond to students' error? Having the students get the correct answer is considered very important. If students make error or don't know an answer, the teacher supports them with the correct answer. Okay, the next material will be delivered by Erny Karina.
Okay, I would like to continue the techniques of direct method. The first one, reading aloud. Students take turn reading a section of a passage, play or dialogue out loud. At the end of each student turn, the teacher uses gesture, pictures, realia, example or other means to make the meaning of section clear. And then the next one is question and answer exercise. This exercise is conducted only in the target language. Students are asked question and answer in full sentences so that they practice new word and grammatical structure. They have the opportunity to ask question as well as answer them. And then the next one is getting students to self-correct. The teacher of this class has the students self-correct by asking them to make a choice between what they said and alternative answer he supplied. There are, however, other ways of getting students to self-correct. For example, a teacher might simply repeat what the student has just said using a questioning voice to signal to the student that something was wrong with it. Another possibility is for the teacher to repeat what the student said, stopping just before the error. The student then knows that the next word was wrong. And then the next one is conversation practice. The teacher asks student a number of questions in the target language, which they have to understand to be able to answer correctly. And then the next one is fill in the blank exercise. This technique has already been discussed in the grammar translation method, but differs in its application in the direct method. All the items are in the target language. Furthermore, no explicit grammar rule would be applied. The student would have induced the grammar rule. They need to fill in the blanks for examples and practice with earlier part of the lesson. And then there is a dictation. The teacher read the passage 3 times. The first time the teacher read it at the normal speed while the student just listen. The second time he read the passage phrase by phrase, pausing long enough to allow students to write down what they have heard. The last time the teacher again read at normal speed and students check their work. And then map drawing. The class included one example of techniques used to give student listening comprehension practice. The students were given a map with the geographical features unnamed. Then the teacher gave the student directions such as the following: find the mountain ring in the west, write the word Rocky Mountains across the mountain range, and etc. And then the last one is paragraph writing. The teacher in the class asked the students to write a paragraph in their own word on the major geographical feature of the United States. They could have done this from memory, or they could have used the reading passage in the lesson as a model. In direct method, the student observe the target language used by the teacher in teaching, and they try to gather meaning based on the demonstration given, and then they will practice the target language they observe, and they use it to communicate with their friends and teacher in the classroom. In conclusion, the direct method of teaching was developed as a response to the grammar translation method. It sought to immerse the learner in the same way as when a first language is learned. All teaching is done in the target language. Grammar is taught inductively. There is a focus on speaking and listening, and only useful everyday language is taught. The weakness in the direct method is its assumption that a second language can be learned in exactly the same way as a first, when in fact the conditions under which a second language is learned are very different. The teacher and the student are more like partners in the teaching or learning process. Teacher or student interaction become fuller, casing of context or content, completing fills in, and doing close exercise were the order of the day. The teacher is the facilitator of the language, and the student is the active learners who are active in learning and exploring the target language. Okay, well, that's all our presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. The last we say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.